Okay. So I wanted to have this completely out of character discussion, player discussion, before you guys actually decide what you want the characters to do. With this being the end of the campaign, what do you as players want to do? Um, there's always the setup for the next campaign, which is all well and good.
Sorry to.
It's it'll trigger the not trigger, but it'll satisfy the roguelite of Meowkin. It certainly helps
It's
the
not
next group.
something that benefits. Yeah, doesn't benefit everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something that my this particular campaign setup requires. I don't need you guys to just think, oh, how can we improve the game for the next campaign? Um, if that's something that players want to do, then that's great. But otherwise, um, you know, do you want to shift the campaign focus on more humane things, human things, not humane things, human things? Um, do you want to just shotgun through to the trying to find some meaning or some deep hidden puzzle of the galaxy? Um, what do you players want the end of this campaign to be? Do you want it to be fighting the Vega, which is absolutely also a possibility? What's going to be interesting for you guys as players to put this campaign to bed?
It definitely leaves it in kind of a weird place to think about how
It's
to
a
move
very
forward.
weird place.
Well, tell me how I can
Like
improve that.
I I don't feel like I don't like I again I don't feel any pressure to meta progress any further than we already have. Like
Yeah,
I feel like that's been covered pretty well with the whole data vault thing or whatever you want to call it.
cool. Glad to hear that.
Um, so I'm open to other things, but it's also like basically all you can really do is observe the end of the universe, and like what you do is doesn't seem like it has value. If that makes sense.
It does. That's why I wanted
Um,
to pause on the character planning so that we could figure out what would have value to you as players. And I'll be honest, if you say having one more session where we just gloss over the high point details of what happens and then ending it, then it would be the best bet for you, then I'd be sad to miss the role play, but I would definitely respect that.
Strictly from a player standpoint, and you and I discussed this a little bit last week,
Mhm.
Dexter. Um, I'm feeling a little bit frustrated about the way that this campaign has turned out, in part because I didn't feel like I had the information to make better decisions early on in the campaign.
Mhm.
And so as a player, my motivation is to do as much fact finding as we can to prepare the next group, just to save them some of that heartache.
Well,
I would like to agree with, echo, and enhance everything Talir just said.
before anybody piles on, let me just make absolutely clear. I made a mistake. Having a bird subsumed be the trigger to start the timer, that was a mistake, guys. That is something that you don't have to try and prepare the next campaign to avoid that mistake. That was my mistake, not your mistake. Next
It,
group of players
it's
aren't going to be facing that issue because I'm not going to make that mistake again.
it wasn't just that. The fact that we didn't know to go to Audrima until the pulses started ticking. I don't want to say the entire war against the Vega, but the fact that this campaign was framed as a war against the Vega was based on inherited information from the last campaign, and those are all
Did you break up?
Is that, I was gonna say, I thought my headset just got out.
Yeah, I was confused too. So, I mean, I can take over because I was going the same direction he was, quite frankly. I wrote you a pretty juicy backstory for a character who wants to fight the Vega. I can see it's not going to play out.
Okay.
That's a bad feeling, man.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, but
unless
if we
I'm
play that out and not actually something that contributes to the next campaign, now I feel like I'm basically I'm hijacking your
okay.
sessions.
Let's say that this is going to be the last campaign that I run. I'm not going to continue this. Now, what do you want to do at the end of this campaign?
Even then, because I don't want to be the guy who's like, my
You're
thing
not,
is more
I
important
am.
than your thing. All right, I care what everybody else wants to do.
Okay.
To be
Well,
clear.
does everyone else want to fight the Vega?
Well, I was gonna say, as someone intending to join the the reset, if so to speak, I feel like we've done enough to progress that. Especially if I'm a player, I can at least somewhat meta drive to Aldrima too, at least a little harder. Because I think one issue was, like you said, Jai had really wanted to go to Aldrima, but we just didn't. I mean, aside from it being weird, and there's a lot of weird in the sector, it was like, well, it didn't seem, like main story weird. So I don't know. It was just like, oh, here's another side story. We have all these other side stories to explore.
And that was
Right,
also
so,
that's another
I mean-
part of. Hang on, Aura. That's another part of my mistake is in framing this this campaign as a missions. It was an experiment. I didn't like the experiment. I will not be doing missions hypothetically, if I ever were to run Darkstar War again, I would not be doing it in missions. It would be sandbox. I would find some other way to fit war framework into it. The kind of basically it's a kingdom building game. It doesn't need the missions. That was a distraction. A sandbox would have been much easier for players to be like, okay, well, we want to go to Aldrima, and just go to Aldrima. So that's another mistake that I will be rectifying. A different me will be rectifying if that different me ever runs Darkstar War again. I've made significant mistakes in running this campaign, and I'm fine with that. This is the first time I've ever tried to run a campaign exactly like this. I've never run a kingdom building campaign, even in fantasy. Sci-fi is new to me, new, compared to total experience, and I'm I'm happy to admit where mistakes have been made.
Well, okay.
I'd say it's ambitious.
It's very ambitious, and before you beat up on yourself too much about it, I want to say this, which is that if it were not railroaded more, but more narrowly focused, I think that the systems you have created would be very successful in delivering people to where you thought you were trying to go here.
And I think
I think you did a very good job making a framework that unfortunately is creating conflict with your desire to tell different stories and things like that. I think that's where we're at here.
I think what I would do in the future. Oh, go ahead, Moya.
Well, I was gonna say on that kind of thought too. Is like if you think about like say Mass Effect, it's kind of a sandbox, but there's a limited number of options, so it's really more a matter of the order that you're doing things in, right?
The Batarian DLC is literally illustrative of the problem we are having right now for Mass Effect 1. Do people know what that one was? Do I need to explain?
I don't remember it.
I don't think I played that one.
So the only DLC for Mass Effect is a DLC where spider dudes, the Batarians, take over a space station and you have to go whip their ass. Okay?
I might have played
That DLC was very clearly under development when they made the game because of a bunch of the background choices you can make for Shepard relate to hating those motherfuckers. Okay? I made those background choices. And when I never saw them in Mass Effect 1, I was pretty mad. And then they gave me the DLC, which was not a particularly good DLC, but at least it was a payoff to that thread. Like, why are you letting me choose to hate guys who never appear in the game? What are you doing?
I mean, it's just easier.
And we haven't come up against exactly that problem, but we have come up against something that's a little bit similar here.
I can circle back around just a bit. A thing that was mentioned was if we wanted to go, I guess, fight the Vega, we could. It loses the combat loses its narrative punch and becomes less interesting if we do that now. Because we know that no matter what happens,
it also feels like a bad decision.
No, I mean, actually, no. Actually, I can actually pretty easily justify it as even for a meta progression thing is we learn about how they actually fight in real space or how to actually combat them. That's still useful information going forward.
Or you can hope, which is
that's only meta.
Like not crazy from the there is no entropy in the metaverse thing. You can hope that damage due to them now counts because they're outside of time anyway.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I mean, I think there's plenty of justifications.
There's definitely like logic you can embrace that leads to that being a not crazy solution. I'm up against a slightly different problem here than the rest of y'all, having joined later and so forth, but like it's probably the effects are just enhanced for me as opposed to invisible to the rest of you, especially given Talaire was making complaints I would have made before he went wherever he went.
Off track.
I'm here.
Okay.
No. We lost your audio for a while.
Oh,
Mid-sentence even.
Oh, I didn't realize my headphones are on the fritz.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When you were speaking earlier, you seemed to cut off at not the middle of a sentence, but the end of the sentence. Like it seemed like you had one more word, and then silence for a couple seconds, and then we saw the Discord mute icon. I was like,
Yeah, so problems with headphones have to do with the fact that I have a 7-year-old who has destroyed my headphones.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Fair enough. And I appreciate you trying to comfort me there, Aura. I'm not beating myself up. I'm being realistic about what I perceive as ways to improve the next time I run this.
You should definitely be self-critical. It actually tends to lead to improvement. I'm just saying, this has not been like a complete mistake either.
Yeah, and I hope you guys have had fun as far as I can tell. I don't even need to say I hope you guys have had fun. I know you guys have had fun so far. And one of the purposes of drawing you aside as players to ask what you want the rest of this to be is so that we don't end on a whimper. Like I said, if you want us to just do 2 dramatic narrative sessions of a high-level overview of things that happen over the next 6 months instead of playing things out, then I think we can make that fun, engaging, and satisfying. It's not going to be as satisfying as if I had run the missions differently, in my opinion, or if I had withheld the triggering of the end of the universe in Bird, if I had given more direction to Ajima earlier on. It's not going to be as satisfying. Nothing we do from here forward is going to be as satisfying as if the direction that this stream of roleplay campaign had taken went better. It veered off to the side of the hill, and there's just all kinds of rocks over there where if it had just gone forward, it would have been a cool wavy line that made pretty patterns in the sand.
Now you're good. The important question for us to ask ourselves probably is, what do our characters want to do knowing they have 6 months to live? Or do they even believe that? Are they going to stick with not believing it the way Oogie has this whole time?
I mean, I'm also kind of like...
He's coming around.
It's a real bear to tackle, but it's not like dying. It's...
Well, I can tell you, I figured this out last session, right? What Izzy wants to do is find out as much as he can and get his ass back to Mechthera before the reset. Because if he can't fix this, he's going to make fucking sure somebody else can.
Yeah.
That's the decision he would make as a character.
Would you guys all like a private session? Each of your characters goes off and we just do a one-on-one what's the word? Not denouement. Epilogue.
I mean, I can tell you exactly what Marcus is going to do.
I know what Marcus is going to be doing. If we did a private, that would be a 5-minute session.
Gonna get high as
No.
fucking fly into a black hole. We know.
No, it's going to do something before that first, though.
Okay.
No, you gotta describe this codification there.
Which is, Marcus is going to hunt down the person who keeps, dying and then coming back and, psychic staticking him until he doesn't have any focus. He then burns himself out, becomes maniac, and just see what happens. And then at that point, once Marcus sees a person burn his brain in front of him, he's then going to go in a black hole.
So,
Right,
so
Marcus is gonna turn into a supervillain for 5 months, then get high as fuck and drive into a black hole.
I was going to say Marcus turns into a kid with a magnifying glass at an anthill.
Marcus should probably just go hang out with Professor Thrill for 5 months.
Well, that's the thing, though. Marcus has more, effort than that guy will have. Therefore, I'll just see at what point does his ability stop working.
No,
At that
you're
point,
not aware.
we can
Professor
talk.
Thrill was my supervillain Bioscion from Scarab. Marcus would love him. You two would actually have a really good time studying a teleporter.
Man, I've played a Biosam before. They are so fun.
I also want to remind you, and I think Marcus would probably be aware, feral psychics effectively have no effort limit.
Oh, I know that once you get below 3, yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, it's
yeah,
just-
once they go feral, they just start torching and keep torching.
Marcus is in a nothing really matters anymore, so he wants to push buttons and see what happens.
Would you guys prefer to have individualized epilogues, whether in private session or in spotlight sessions?
It's definitely one way you could solve this.
Okay.
I think
To-do list.
probably a lot of these characters would be willing to go do something that seemed important. Maybe 2 or 3 things even before the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to be telling you that's true. I want other people to either agree with me or disagree.
Right. Whatever we do, we need to decide as equal players in the game, how best to have fun with however many sessions we give ourselves to end this. Tulare, I see you lighten up, but I don't think we're getting words.
We can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've been going on mute so much, is because my headphones are picking up every little sound. That was literally just me
Okay.
stretching. I mean, I know what Oogie wants to accomplish, and he can literally accomplish it before the end of this session if we need to.
Okay.
And that is, right now, the 3 most important people in his life since he woke back up again are on this ship, and he plans for them to be on Otterma when all this shit goes down, or on Mech,
Mm-hmm.
on Mektora.
Now, putting Riley on Mektora does create an interesting situation, especially now that you guys have learned that crew is generational. I want to point out real quick, because I don't think it's been very background. Until crew, all the information anyone had about Vega possessing humans is that once they truly bond with a host, that's it. When the host dies, the Vega dies, and vice versa. If the Vega dies, the host dies.
I mean,
Izzy had a lot more at one point, but he doesn't remember it.
You are stupidly smart right now. At this point, we'll find out if the Vega reset.
Yeah, that's true. That would
Because
definitely teach
There's
that.
either going to be 2 crew that exist, in which case we know they reset, or there's only going to be 1.
Hmm.
And he will be way older by the time he shows back up.
Well, no, because they've already told us. We know that even, the people on Mektora get a copy. They're just a copy that exists in a different time and place.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Most of those
saying-
copies die before the originals. Before
Right,
the
you'll have
universe
one
stopped.
800-year-old crew and one 80,000-year-old crew. Is
Yeah,
where
I'm
you're going
wondering-
with this, right?
No, but it's because Vega do experience time outside of this space. I'm wondering if they are not affected by the reset.
I want to put. I want to circle that for you. Crew being on Mektora would not be as clear of an answer, because we don't know where crew was last time it was reset. Let me do this better. If crew if Riley had not joined the Raza and was over on Onalau where they picked her up at the time of the reset, then crew with Riley would be in real space. I think the real question you have is not do the Vega reset, but does the Infraworld reset?
Well, yeah, that's kind of my question. And then at that point, if we have 2 crew, then what we do is we take both of them, present them to the Vega, and watch them implode. Because how can that be?
Okay.
Which is also a good reason to go investigate other areas we suspect might be immune to resetting before we get there, right?
So are we saying the Vega are just, like advanced AI? We're just gonna shut them down with the paradox loop?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, like if everything is, well, not predetermined, but it's what you must do, then how can there be 2 of you?
And that's all well and good for the meta progression, but as far as Oogie's personal goals, it is seeing to it that Park,
Riley's safe.
Riley, and Lily Grace are safe.
All right. So clearly, Oogie and Izzy are on compatible pages anyway.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we are currently leaning towards a ending where we split the characters and give them kind of individualized epilogues.
I think we might have one last hurrah first, but I'm curious to hear what Archibald and Amaya's plans likely are.
Like broad strokes.
Before we commit to that.
Yeah, broad strokes. I feel like Archibald would play along, but I mean, he's probably just gonna I'm just tired. He'll just go with the reset.
Could I get an hour of individual epilogue out of whatever you want to do with Archibald?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
I would want to spotlight one character at a time in doing this, whether it's in private sessions or in a group session that we all sit and listen to. Leaving that choice up to you guys.
I don't mind. Everyone knows what I want to do. Just 2 things on my list.
And I say an hour, but I wouldn't necessarily need a full hour. I'm just looking at I'm engineering an hour as like the upper
boundary.
Yeah, not necessarily boundary, but estimate.
That's the target you want to aim at.
It's not even a target. It's kind of an estimate. Meowkin, you're not sure that there's much that you would want to do with Archibald. And when I say engineering,
I'm gonna say I don't feel like I've ever really fleshed out Archibald enough.
When I say engineering, I mean rounding up. If we think it might take 15 minutes, then I want to set aside an hour. If we think it might take an hour and a half, I want to set aside 2 hours.
But you think we haven't developed Archibald enough? What do you think Marcus is? is a 2D character.
I think this is an opportunity for us to explore what Archibald could have been, and we can do that with Izya also. All of you who have felt like there wasn't much to the character, part of that is in the character creation. I'll look at how that can be done better next time as well. But all this, I'm getting more liking the epilogue idea. I feel like it could be a send off with an idea of what this has meant to each character. Maybe even they recollect their memories if they want to. Or
I think that's probably a good idea. just kind of overall. But I'm not sure it rules off us trying to get some stuff done as a group before then.
I'm fine with that. How do you guys feel about the individual send-off idea? First of all, let's start there. Does anybody think it would be boring to sit through all of us, any one of us individually as a group? Do you want to do it as a group or individually?
Whatever.
As a group.
As a group, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel like because I don't know if I have much for myself individually. I think as a group, and then and then kind of like broad strokes for each person, or how if someone wants to.
Well, it's one of them as well. If we do it as a group and the question gets raised in one of the other sessions that you want to then pick up on, you get that ability to do so.
Yeah. Or we could also do like like a 3 months as a group, and and then like the last 3 months kind of break. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how the group. If we do like a group thing first, then depends on how that goes, right?
No, I think we should try to do whatever the last couple of things we want to get done as a group are, and then do epilogues.
That's what I'm planning to. So far, I just want to make sure that I'm not just making this decision for you guys as far as what the actual ending is. And I haven't heard any object to having character epilogues, individual character epilogues that are played out in a regular session with everyone, all the players present. It'll be a spotlight on one character that all of us can enjoy. Nox, I noticed that you're unmuted. Did you have anything you wanted to say or add?
I'm doing a lot of thinking.
Okay.
Pondering.
All right. For the moment, I'm penciling in. Actually, I'm penning in because I don't keep pencils around anymore apparently, but I can cross things out. I'm penciling in that we'll end the campaign with individual send-offs, individual epilogues, played out in a group game. Now, you guys have, multiples of you have expressed that there are still things you want to do in approaching those epilogues. What's the most important thing to you?
I think we pretty much have to go check out that other system that looks as though it's probably involved in the time loop.
The TT.
TMT 77-7.
It's not TMT, it's Tiamat.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say TMT.
Tiamat 77-7.
Yeah, Tiamat. There we go.
That actually is its real name. It's Tiamat.
You're welcome. I helped.
That's why I've been insisting that it's not an acronym. It's not TMT.
It's just missing some letters, just some vowels.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so how many times that I've helped your setting be better? That would just being confratational for the hell of it.
Yes,
he's
you
always insisted. He's always insisted as Tim.
I have. That was something that Xander absolutely refused to do. He refused to call it Tiamat. He kept saying TMT.
Kind of there with him.
But they're not capital letters.
So we should definitely at least go check that out. I think that may be the only mission we all badly want. We all not badly want to do. We all think is important. But let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean everything in regards to the time looping is very foundational on, hey, is it only here, is it elsewhere as well?
It's imminent. It would be a good idea to figure it out, etc.
And it'd be really bad if there's a Union fleet that
Right, because if we can solve that, that's actually kind of a win in a lot of ways, under the circumstances we're dealing with now.
Do you want to try and convince Raza to let you take the Raza to go with you there, or do you want to sneak in on a small ship?
Or should we just have an all-out? Well, let me see. Were they building cruisers there?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Was there a battleship?
There was, I believe there were 3 battleships. One of them was functional and active and chasing you.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
We should bring more guys there.
Hi, is Cassian LaRue's battleship done?
Will it be done within the next 3 months?
We can make that an option.
Want to do a whole fleet combat?
We just bring everybody and we're like, hey guys, we're going to investigate the system. You want to try to stop us?
We've only got 6. We've only got 6 months, y'all. Let's go out with a bang. Just to send the whole sector into chaos.
That's the best thing, though. You could actually do that. You could literally say to people, look, here's some squeal. Give me the dosage. Ask me these specific questions that I have to tell you the truth for. And watch what happens.
I think the real issue is if you decided panic and it came out that, you don't reset in Algebra. I think that would cause a whole other issue.
Well, it's going to involve everybody in the whole sector flying to Audroma immediately, yeah.
No, you don't mention Audroma. You just say there's a reset.
But how do you prove it?
You don't. So at the very best,
know what squeal does? Squeal means I cannot hypothesize. I must only speak what is true.
Right, but even if people give you what it basically amounts to truth serum, okay? How quickly does the word spread? What happens?
Let's
all you have to do is convince the person with the biggest fleets.
I mean, all this is predicated on people trusting that Marcus believes something that is actually valid.
Yeah, that's true. Does it have to be factually true or just that you truly believe it?
Let's say hypothetically that you can drum up a fleet to go with you to Timmit 77-7. Do you want to be part of the ensuing battle, or is that fleet just so that you can sneak a ship out and investigate the planet?
Oh, it's 100% a distraction so that we can get to the planet.
Okay, then we can work out. We can do some fictional positioning on how you arrange for a fleet to follow you this very dangerous journey from which there is no return if they don't return within 3 days.
Weren't we building a stealth cruiser, though?
What's that?
Weren't we building a stealth cruiser? I feel like Claire was pretty emphatic on that.
I know
was there a stealth ship in the works?
It was one of the options, but I think we went with the Hedgehog instead.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, then we're going to need the fleet.
All right. And I guess the next question there is, are you taking? Do you as players want to figure out a way to bring the Raza there with you? Raza has a drive 6. It is. It also has stealth. It's got the emissions dampers. It is the most capable large ship of sneaking out of a conflict like that. Or do you want us to use a smaller ship?
Be doing?
And also presumably has the infodrive.
It may also have the infodrive by that point.
I think it's a bad idea.
Oh?
Okay. Elaborate.
Let's just suppose the Raza joins in this distraction battle. We've speculated that possibly Tiamat also does not reset. We're not sure, but we've speculated on that. If the Raza gets disabled before the time loop resets and then falls into Union's hands, then Union has a fully repaired and upgraded pre-tech cruiser at their disposal in the next loop.
So when Dexter runs a sequel to this campaign, everybody speaks Russian. What's the problem?
Okay.
I mean, again, if it has the infodrive, that seems like a very, well, yeah, it's not a likely risk. I mean, in an emergency, it blinks out.
I mean, it's one of them, though.
I guess we don't know.
I was going to say, couldn't we do a swapsies where we take the Raza with the
we could certainly use the Raza as the insertion vehicle, yeah.
Because the infodrive can port out anywhere. So
and probably should, in fact. Yeah.
Please one at a time. I can't. Yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
The infodrive, it can draw out anywhere, correct, in the system, if I remember rightly?
It can return to anywhere it's been.
Yeah, so we no, but I mean saying if we were next to the planet, the black hole, could we punch out with the Raza?
Yes. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Yes, it can.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Can I steal the Raza and fly into the black hole and then try and punch out and see what happens?
Until that last sentence, all I was doing was agreeing with him.
Look,
Ben, you're not allowed to play in any more of my campaigns.
Hold on, no. I am looking forward to the telekinetic duel between Marcus and Charlie. As he tries to steal it.
I think I'm also looking forward to that duel.
I mean, Marcus doesn't know how to fly. He'd need someone willing to, like, you know, come with him.
It sounds like you just answered your own question then.
Oh, no, it's very easy to get willing people.
You think?
Absolutely.
We'll play out the specifics, but what I'm getting is that you guys want to take a big distraction force to Tiamat, sneak off in a ship. We'll decide which ship that is so that you can go and explore the planet.
I will say, it probably would be funner to have the Raza with this crew. You know, it's just like, you know, as a last hurrah. Because particularly with the infodrive, since, you know, that's never, so far as I'm aware, seen actual play.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like it's those characters' last chance too.
Yeah, it's one of them as well. If we take the Raza, depending on the timing of it, we could punch out and then potentially go to Ordrimer and see the pulse in the Raza.
There's that too. We can get us out of there a lot quicker.
And then, you know, it's just a quick little stop up to what is it? Artemis, and then just, you know.
If they can go to Tiamat while also stopping at Audrima, then they can get us directly to Audrima with the infodrive. Is that what I'm hearing?
Have they been there before?
Yep. I think that's the theory that Aura's proposing, is take the Raza with the infodrive to Audrima and then go to Tiamat.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, ensure that infodrive can go to Aldrima.
Yeah.
Right. And then use that to run the hell away. So that those of us who are not planning on committing suicide by black hole can accomplish our objectives.
I'm doing scientific research here, mate.
It can be both.
No way we end up like the Starman, right?
No way you end up like the what?
The Starman stuck on Ka.
It'll be fine.
Thousands.
Oh.
What's the worst that could happen?
No comment. And that is to both Aura and Meowgan.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He has clearly determined that he will not get revenge. So he's going to have to pass on the obligation to other people.
I mean, this curiosity is both from me as a player, but also Marcus. It's like, Marcus is stupid enough to want to do this, and then I realized, oh wait, the Raza, it can actually potentially do this. Because I totally forgot about that. I was just going to ask for, a ship just to, like, fly me into the black hole and just leave me. You know, go all interstellar on it.
Well, nobody's going to argue with you about that too much.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to allow you to try that with the Raza, though.
Oh no, I'll just have to try and steal it.
We'll address that when we get there. Unless Marcus is just talking about this ahead of time in character.
If Archibald wants something to do, I do want to point out that literally from Izia's Hello Self video and the datapad I came into the game with, we know some people who are possessed by Vega. We know who they are. We just have to find them.
Like individuals?
Yes.
Are they individuals?
About half of Izia's crew ended up possessed as a result of his background. He said so.
And they still traveling?
And
they're still out there somewhere. So if you really want something to do for 6 months.
And you got some circumstantial confirmation from the whole paintings thing.
Yeah. Like, I wrote you a juicy background, man.
Yeah.
The point where you probably should have stopped me.
You were having so much fun.
I was having a lot of fun. That is correct.
And I didn't, at the time, I didn't intend, actually, at no point did I intend to, eclipse it.
No, you're good. As far as that goes, I'm not bothered.
Okay.
It's a best laid plans type of thing. I'm not worried about that.
It's like when a character gets a really, really good backstory and starts digging into it and then dies.
Yeah. It's a lot like that, actually, because I'm going to die.
Yeah. All right. So what I've got for the next sessions is taking the Raza to 77-7. You want to get there in the midst of a big old fleet to challenge Union's shipyard, mostly as a distraction, so that you can explore the planet in that system. The lone single planet in the system.
Yes, I think that is our very bad plan.
Yeah. Well, it's it's bad if you assume that we're throwing away resources, but
But we know we aren't, so it's okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it is the time to make bold plans.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of anything else that sounds like a lot of fun to do other than this, so.
Okay. And then after that, at some point, you guys will tell me that you're satisfied with what you've found and done, including any follow-up to exploring the planet. And we will then venture into individual epilogues of what each character is doing in their final moments. Moments being months, probably. Does that sound like a good way to cap this campaign, as fraught with little mistakes here and there and big mistakes here and there, as it was?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Does it kind of help ease up a little bit on the sting of how the campaign shifted over to the side with all the rocks and the bumps?
Yes and no.
I'll take the yes out of that and ignore the no.
Yeah. It's a good silver lining. It's a good silver lining.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to say? No? Alright.
No.
If you all could, at some point before we reach its absolute need, at some point before I absolutely need it, send me a basic idea of what you want to happen in the epilogue, so that I'm not just improvising as soon as we get to it. So I can do a little bit of prep. I won't be doing too much prep because the epilogues, the individual character epilogues, will be within reason, almost entirely decided and guided by you guys. It's the end of your character, and I want to, as much as I can, while still maintaining my need for consistency and some realism, I want to step out of the way.
There's going to be a section of my wrap-up that definitely is going to be labeled extra credit.
Okay, sounds good.
I think you will like it less when I see what I write there, but it will be there.
All right. Well, I'll get there when I get there.
Spoiler alert. Extra credit. Spend the ensuing 6 months figuring out how to kill a Vega.
Well, you guys know how to kill a Vega.
No, kill.
Yeah, that is, I apologize for not giving this earlier, but, The way to kill a Vega, as far as I guess you could spend the time proving this, but
Oh yes, good. Let's go on.
I mean, you need a lot of experimental data to prove it.
Right.
that's very fair. That's very fair. Yes.
Izzy has test subjects in mind.
Killing the host of a Vega when the Vega can't jump to someone else will kill the Vega.
No, that's not going to do it for Izzy.
Okay.
Wasn't that?
He-
But that's
he
only
wants
like if
to-
they're bound, right? Because I know we had like the whole, like, what was his name?
We have 2 of them at this point.
Yeah, the one that we turned into the artificial voice box.
I think he wants to excise a Vega without killing the host.
That's a more correct reading of what I'm saying. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's more important.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's less proven and more up in the air, and certainly can be explored. Yes.
It sounds like I may have 4 months to try.
For record keeping, for ease of record keeping, let's first of all, do you guys want what you're gonna send me? I see that Ben has already sent it to me. Do the rest of you want it to be in private so that there can be some surprises and player mystery?
I think that's more fun.
Okay. Then yeah, why don't
PM it to you, not put it in the channel?
Yeah, why don't you each PM it to me? You too, Ben. You can just copy and paste that if you need to, but do PM it to me so that it's easily accessible even after this chat box scrolls. Thank you. Alright, and thank you guys for stepping outside character to discuss this to me. Like I said a couple times, I really do want to make the end of this campaign not just be a short timers thing, you know. I still want my players engaged and having fun right up to the very end. So I appreciate you guys helping me to do that. About this session in particular, this was the second of a information dense, action light, and depending on which way you look at it, plot progress light session. I don't really have any questions. I guess I'll direct my actual review question to be, are you okay with me spending so much session time figuring out how to end the campaign?
I mean, it needs to end somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will discuss more with you why in private.
Okay. All right. Well, if nobody else has any other comments, then I'll go ahead and end the stream and the session for today.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.